What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Klaudless and Indy. I'm Klaudless and I'm in Indy, and I want to thank you guys for clicking on this video. I know it's a little late, almost a whole month late, at least a whole month since I actually did the race or the fun run, but still better late than never. So real quick, I just want to give you guys a quick format of this video. So this is the intro, obviously, and then up next will be the run itself. There's not a lot of talking. It's just pretty much just me, the camera, and the run. And then finally, at the end of this video, I'll go over the route and my stats. I also added chapters to this video, so feel free to skip to the portion that interests you the most. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the other side. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Klaudless and Indy. I'm Klaudless, and I'm in Indy, and we are back for another 5K right here on, I think this is Virginia. This 5K is at the Chili Water Brewing Company. If you guys remember in my beer reviews, I have reviewed one of their beers. I think it's the Lucy Juicy IPA. But yeah, it's I want to say just a little bit before 10:30. People are still arriving here, and yeah, I'm waiting for the doors to open so I can use the bathroom and whatnot. But one thing that I didn't notice on the last race at the Taxman Cityway 5K was that Hotel Tango is literally right across the street. You guys see that? If you're familiar with their cherry liqueur, their limoncello, and their orangecello. But yeah, man, you guys, it is another beautiful day in Indy here. Traffic is really light, but I'm sure it's going to pick up later on. I mean, there's already people walking what is essentially the cultural trail here. But yeah, I'm going to post a route right here. I think this one is approximately 3.1 miles exactly, according to Map My Run. But very excited, you guys. And I'll see you guys either once they open or once I start the run. And of course, at the end of this run, we're gonna do some beer reviews. So definitely looking forward to that. Alrighty.
Perfect.
It's even easier now because I'm pregnant again, so I'm going real slow.
All right, babe. We'll see ya.
Okay, have fun. Find me when you're done.
Here we go. We're off, you guys.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Sorry. That's pretty much me every day.
Yeah.
all good.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed watching that run. Now, let's talk about it. Okay, before we get started, welcome back to the Klaudlessmedia studio. I'm having a beer right now, and what I'm drinking is the Emu Cold IPA by, obviously, Sun King Brewery. It's pretty good. But let's get to it. So I have some notes written down here about the race, and so first off, I want to apologize about the well, first off, I want to apologize about the sound if I keep moving this microphone, but second of all, I want to apologize for the shaky camera. So I'm using Filmora by Wondershare, and I absolutely love it, but that's besides the point. I couldn't really fix it without it taking like forever, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna leave it in. Not to mention, I mean, because like when I think about my other races or other runs that I've done, like the camera isn't as shaky, but at least as far as I can remember. But in this particular race, I was pretty much getting there, and as you'll see in my stats that I'll pull up, I was pretty much anaerobic the majority of the race, which kind of sucked a little bit, but it was still solid regardless. So I guess my next note I want to talk about is me sweating. So I think from my run so far, I think it's completely psychological. Now, I for some reason hold the belief that when I sweat, I'm having a good run. You know, my heart rate's going to be exactly where it needs to be, even though for this race, that actually wasn't the case. It was pretty high. And you know what? Actually, let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up here. All right, you guys. So as you can see, we are on my Strava. Let me see if I can, there we go. We are currently on my Strava account, by the way. Here it is. You know, follow my Strava if you have a Strava, to get pretty much the first look, you know, of my first summaries of my post runs, my post summary feelings there. But if we look at my heart rate here, it was pretty much pretty much it did not dip below 150 for the entirety of the race, and at some point it actually reached 186 which is absolutely insane. It rarely ever gets that high, but I think a lot of it had to do with nerves as well. Let me see if I can do this here, show you guys my okay, so I'll have to do it in post, show you it. So I'll post a picture right here somewhere, yeah, showing that it unfortunately doesn't show the percentage, but the majority of the race, as you can see, was at my maximum heart rate between 166 and 184 BPM, with a good portion of it also being 148, 165 BPM, you know, the zone 4. So I spent most of my time in zone 5 and zone 4, very little time in zone 3 through 1, which was kind of disappointing, but despite that, you know, I still think I did very well. If we go back here to my to my Strava here, you can see here's my pace. Also, another thing too, which is like really weird, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this, but I'm using Samsung Health. I know it's not the best app to be using. I should be using Garmin or Coros, but hey, you know, once I start getting more funds in, yada yada yada, then I'll go that route. But right now I've got a Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, and right now it's getting the job done. But one thing I don't like is that the stats are different there. It's different on when I upload that data to Strava, and it's different when I upload that data to Map My Run. Very strange. As you can see here, where my pace times are different. First lap, we're looking at a pace of 10:23, 10:34, 10:45. It's actually pretty cool. You can see my times at my splits there, my 1 mile splits. And then we go here to my Strava, and I have different times there. Look at that. See, it's showing my last one was at 10:17. Okay, but Map My Run showing 10:45. Makes no sense, but you know, I digress. I guess so. The next note is my pace group. So there are no pace groups in these fun runs, but rather along this running journey, as I do a lot more personal runs, as I watch a lot more videos and study more information just about running in general, apparently in a lot of marathons, people will actually pay or not pay for to have pacers, you know, people who pace them, you know, or even just during training sessions. And so I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I also kind of wanted to avoid the mistakes I've made in the other races, which is a common problem where you start off going way too fast. And for this race, I started pretty close to as slow as I could possibly go without coming to a walk. Because obviously we're going for distance, we're going for longevity, endurance, not necessarily for speed. But I noticed that I was actually passing people, which brings me to my next point. Passing. I think this is the first time, this is the first race of all these fun runs that I've done so far of the Brewery running series that I've never been passed, which is crazy. One can say, yeah, but if we look at the video, you were literally in last place, right? As far as starting, I started very last. I mean, me personally, that's because I don't want to run with the crowd. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I was like, and plus my wife, you know, she was a sweeper, and so I was just gonna start when she started, so it didn't really matter to me. But still, I was in every other race. Sure, I passed people, and I got pretty far. But at some point, I ended up coming to a pace that was slow enough for others to pass me. And sure, every race too, there have been different people. I mean, sure, there are people just like myself and my wife where they're running every single race, or as many as that they possibly can in this series. But for the majority of the races, the majority of the people who are attending these races so far, because I think this is race number 4, that was their first race of the series. And probably there are some where that was their second race. but a very minority of people there, that was their 4th race of the series. They've run all the races. But like I said, this was the very first race where I managed to actually reach a pace where I wasn't passed, and I continued to pass people. Sure, there was one point in the video where someone did pass me, but I can't really speak to their skill or their experience. I mean, me personally, when I see them, I'm like, yeah, that used to be me. Who knows? Maybe they were doing intervals, because that's kind of how I was in the very first race with the Sun King 5K, where I was running and walking, and I think I passed someone when I was running. So I think I passed them twice, or maybe they passed me twice. But regardless, like I said, without repeating myself too much, this was the very first race where I managed to stay at a pace thanks to these 2 guys. Okay. Well, thanks to the 3 guys, and then eventually the 2 guys, where I ran at a pace where I continued to pass people, multiple people, and no one passed me. And obviously that's not going to continue to be that way, but I think that was because I literally started in last, and I just caught up to that group and just stayed there. Which, yeah, I mean, it's great. Moving on, the beer review. So unfortunately, it was a very, very hot day, and I didn't get to do the beer review because my wife, unfortunately, she got a little way too hot, and we ended up having to go to the emergency room and whatnot, because obviously we're pregnant, and we wanted to make sure there was nothing wrong with her. And thankfully everything was solid. She was just extremely dehydrated, which I'm sure a lot of people probably were on that day. I mean, it was I don't remember. I think it was clear skies, or like partly cloudy, and I was even feeling the burn. I mean, it wasn't even summer yet, and it felt like summer, But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was I think it was a great run. All in all, it was a great run. My watch unfortunately didn't clock it at exactly 5K. As you guys can see here, Strava is showing that the distance, both Strava and Map My Run, is showing it at 3:02. Yeah, 3:02 miles, so it's a tad bit short of a 10K, but I'm still counting it as a 10K, and apparently this is also a pretty common thing as well. Also, I think my time is getting better. It's probably one of the best times I've done. 31:59. I mean, sure, I know that is not what I know. A lot of people are like doing like 15-minute 5Ks, but hey, I'm literally only 6 months. Okay, because I literally started on January 1st, so I'm still 6 months within my running journey here. And I'm shooting for longevity. I love running, I enjoy running, and obviously, when you're doing a high impact sport like this, you want to take things slow, progress slowly, so that way you can continue doing what you enjoy, right? And yeah, my pace here was 10:35. The average pace according to Strava, it's 10:20 here according to Map My Run. You guys can see the elevation here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but this is weird because, like, there's a difference here of a little less than 10, so we'll say about 7 feet here. And it's showing it to be pretty dramatic, but trust me, the inclines weren't that steep. It didn't feel like that. I mean, especially since, if you guys have been watching my running videos, I've been running in fissures a lot, specifically West Fissures, or I guess you can kind of say like Central Fissures, but mainly the Geist area, the Geist district of Fissures, and that's very hilly. And so I'm pretty used to it. But here downtown, the inclines are very smooth. I would say long, gradual. Maybe is the word. So didn't really notice. Other people were like, yeah, there were some inclines there, but like I said, I've been doing this thing now. That's normal for me, and especially like with the iFit with Casey Gilbert, he loves to throw in incline sessions in there every once in a while, and I'm like, you know what? I think I just need to get better at doing this, because I think that'll make me a better runner, a stronger runner, if I, just regularly do incline runs. That way, when I get a surprise session like that, it's like, oh, this is nothing new to me. I've done this before, and I will gladly, with a smile, do it again. And I have continuously. As you can see here, because I was with the pace group, it was pretty darn consistent, at least according to Map My Run. Let's see if I can find my pace here. We're gonna do turn that off. Yeah, I mean, just look at that here. Just pretty darn consistent run. Also, those guys decided to sprint at the last, I want to say 100. I was not ready to do that. I had the energy to do it, but I'm like, I want to be fresh, or as fresh as possible crossing that finish line, because I still had to walk, to meet my wife along the run. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. As you guys can see pretty much at the end of the run, just how kind of exhausted I was. I didn't even turn off the camera. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna beeline it pretty much straight for the water jug, and then sit down, and yeah, that's what I did. And then I walked to my wife. But I think that's pretty much gonna be it. So if you guys are interested in joining these runs, if you're in the Indianapolis area, I'll have the link down below to the Indiana Brewery Running Series. But I think the website is breweryrunningseries.com/Indiana. But the company, yes, it is a company. It is based out of Minnesota, I believe, but they do have chapters, for lack of a better term, all over the U.S. So if this is something that interests you, you love running and you love beer, or you love beer and want to get into running, and kind of want to have an excuse to do either or, then yeah, check out breweryrunningseries.com and find a local running club near you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Follow my Strava, follow my social media. Everything is down in the description. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, share, follow, etc. Yeah, I think I guess I can do the salutation. Why not? I mean, it is a beer run video. So cheers, salud, slancha, skol, nastrovia, prost, peace out, and I will see you guys in the next one.